Welcome to Diverse Orange. Our conversation is about diversity here in Central Florida. My guest today is Sunayana Dumala. Welcome.
Welcome, and thank you so much for having me, Terry. It's an honor to be on Diverse Orange. I'm so
Thanks.
glad to be here and talking to you this morning.
You were telling me about the meaning of your name, Sunayana. Tell us about that.
So I'm basically from Hyderabad. It's a southern city. I come from a Telugu-speaking state. So in my native language, Nayana means eyes and Su means beautiful. So when combined, Sunayana means beautiful eyes. So a girl with beautiful eyes.
Wonderful. Well, what was your journey to come from southern India to Central Florida?
Oh, it's a 15-year long journey. I first came to the United States in 2007. What got me here was I back home. I grew up with a family of five. My parents and I had two older sisters. They are way older to me, so I was being the youngest, and with such long age gap, I was always the protected child of the house and very pampered. So I even before I could do anything, things were all ready for me. And so when it came to that age, and I was like, I have to step out of this comfort zone and I need to learn from my own mistakes and I have to see the world through my own eyes. And added to that, my father wanted a doctor in the family. And so my older sister tried to become a doctor, but she couldn't. And then I hated math. So I was like, becoming doctor might be easy. So I chose that path, but I couldn't become a doctor too. My older sister also tried to come to US. For me, it was like I couldn't become a doctor, but if I go to US and if I show to my dad that I am capable enough, and that I can also make a mark for myself, that would make him proud. So all of this made me move from my comfort zone. And at that time in 2007, I had no family here. I was the first person from my entire family, extended family, to have crossed India and the first woman to do so. So obviously it was a huge affair. I had about like 30, 40 people that came to the airport to see me off. In a way it was good, but in a way it made me cry even more to leave all of them and coming here. So I first came to St. Louis. That's where my university I got admitted to. From St. Louis, I moved to St. Cloud as a transfer student, and that's where I got my master's degree in engineering management.
So tell us about your first week in St. Louis. What was that like for you?
Oh my God. It, it was mixed feelings, and like I said, my dad never allowed me to step out. I was not allowed to do sleepovers at my friend's place. I couldn't go on vacations with my friends just by myself. So um, so I was
Suddenly
that
you had all this
protected.
freedom.
Yeah, and suddenly I am all by myself, and I'm in a foreign space. But I had a travel companion. She was also coming to the university along with me. I mean, for a different course. So we ended up staying at the same accommodation. So having her helped. But when I first went to the university, and my first it's kind of funny, but the cultural transition was we were at the supermarket, and then I couldn't find what I wanted. And so I asked one of the worker there, where can I find dustbin? And they couldn't they get it. And because I from India and because we are like used to British English, and then I said, dustbin, where you put weight. And I had to, then they were like, trash can. And I'm like, oh, it's a trash can. So I think the first 1 week was all of this. Like I was in awe of where I was, and that finally I was here. I was also emotionally missing my parents a lot. um, I couldn't control. And at that time, calling back was a huge deal. I mean, now we have WhatsApp, we are doing these video calls on a daily basis and all of that. But in 2007, we had to buy like a calling card. And then that calling card, we could only talk for certain minutes. And so I called my mother and I started crying because I was missing home food, the love, the comfort, everything. And so that was when I got my life's lesson to continue to live in US from a friend. And he said, uh, I know you're going through an emotional struggle, but if you if you cry, your parents will get worried. How much ever tougher it is for you here, don't break down in front of them.
Sure. So,
So yeah.
so you've had 7 years in the United States, mostly in the Midwest, and then you've come to Central Florida. Uh, did you find anything new and unexpected in Central Florida from your
I
U.S. experiences in the Midwest?
Yes, so I have to take you back a little. So I my first job was in Orlando with Orange County Public Schools. This was back in 2011. At that time, I was only there for 6 months. I used to stay in the UCF area. I used to take bus from my where I used to stay to downtown. And when I came back to Orlando, during COVID, I have friends in not Central Florida, but by Space Coast near Melbourne. So they welcomed me to come and stay with them. And so when I noticed all the change, and I was like, oh my God. Even after when I moved to Central Florida, because my parents were with me, they came from India to help me move from Kansas to here. I I was trying to take them to the downtown and to show them the OCPS building, and I couldn't recognize it myself. So it has been a tremendous change. And I think when I compare to, because as you said, I spend most of my time in Midwest. I lived in Minnesota, I lived in Iowa, and I lived in Kansas. So mostly in Midwest. The difference for me is, I always say that I take pride in living in Midwest for so long, because to me, to experience the true American culture, I felt like I got that by living in the Midwest. It gives you a different exposure to learn about what America is. Um, uh, you get to meet different people and learn from them. On the contrast, Florida or the Central Florida, what I see is the diversity of the people that we have. All these diverse people that have made this home and are bringing their culture, their ethnicity, and their food to this. And I think that is what made me come to move to Central Florida, because of my line of work that I was getting into. I wanted to surround myself among the diverse communities, and I think that's what I'm happy I'm able to get that by living in Central Florida.
Super. Well, that's a great story and a great testament to Central Florida. We're glad you're here. Our 10 minutes are about up. So thank you very much for joining me on this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching this edition of Diverse Orange.